Chandeliers of the Washington Hilton, one of the most anticipated political evenings in America, was unfolding with precision and tradition. The White House Correspondents Dinner had always been more than a social gathering. It was a symbol of the relationship between power and the press. Among the attendees that night was Donald Trump, surrounded by journalists, officials, and layers of security designed to prevent the unthinkable. Yet history has shown that even the most guarded institutions are never entirely beyond reach. Outside the venue, a sequence of events began to unfold that would momentarily disrupt the illusion of complete control. Reports described a suspect approaching a secured perimeter, triggering a rapid response from the United States Secret Service. Within seconds, tension replaced routine. Movement became urgent, communications sharper, and the quiet efficiency of trained agents shifted into visible action. Attendees inside were largely unaware at first, but behind the scenes, protocols that had been refined over decades were being executed with precision. Moments like these do not exist in isolation. They are echoes of a long and often unsettling history in which the office of the President of the United States has been both a symbol of democracy and a target. The attempted disruption in Washington that night, regardless of its final outcome, fits into a pattern that stretches back more than a century. To understand its significance, one must look beyond the moment and into the past, where the stakes were often far higher and the consequences irreversible. April 14th, 1865, 10:15 p.m., Ford's Theater, Washington, D.C. The nation was still reeling from the end of the Civil War when Abraham Lincoln attended a play, seeking a brief moment of relief. That evening would become one of the darkest chapters in American history. The assassination of Lincoln was not just an attack on a man, but on the fragile unity of a nation trying to rebuild itself. Security, as understood today, was virtually non-existent, and the tragedy exposed vulnerabilities that had not yet been imagined. Nearly a century later, November 22nd, 1963, 12:30 p.m., Dallas, Texas. A motorcade moved through cheering crowds as John F. Kennedy greeted citizens with optimism and confidence. Within moments, that optimism was shattered. The assassination of Kennedy unfolded in public view, captured and replayed countless times, embedding itself into the national consciousness. It marked a turning point, forcing the United States to reconsider how it protected its highest office in an age of mass media and growing political tension. By March 30th, 1981, 2:27 p.m. Washington, D.C., the lessons of the past had already begun to reshape presidential security. As Ronald Reagan exited a hotel, a sudden burst of violence tested the evolving system. Unlike earlier tragedies, this time the response was immediate and coordinated. Agents moved with practiced urgency, shielding the president and neutralizing the threat within seconds. Reagan survived, and the incident became a case study in how preparation and rapid action could mean the difference between life and death. Each of these moments contributed to a transformation. The modern security apparatus surrounding the presidency is not simply a reaction to threats. It is the result of decades of adaptation. Layers of intelligence gathering, behavioral analysis, and technological surveillance now operate continuously, often unnoticed by the public. Events like the one reported on April 25th, 2026, demonstrate how these systems are designed to detect and respond before a situation escalates into catastrophe. Back at the Washington Hilton, the immediate aftermath of the incident reflected this evolution. Attendees were guided, secured, and informed with controlled precision. The president was moved according to established protocols, and the situation was contained before it could fully penetrate the inner circle of the event. While investigations would later seek to understand intent and motivation, the operational success lay in prevention rather than reaction. For the American public, such incidents often raise deeper questions. How secure is the presidency in an era of increasing unpredictability? Can any system, no matter how advanced, fully eliminate risk? The answers are complex. Absolute security remains an ideal, rather than a guarantee, but the trajectory over time shows a clear pattern of improvement. Each attempt, each failure, and each success contributes to a system that is constantly learning. The presidency, by its very nature, stands at the intersection of visibility and vulnerability. It represents authority, influence, and national identity, making it both a position of power and a focal point for those seeking to challenge that power. The events of April 2026, when viewed through this historical lens, are not an isolated anomaly, but part of an ongoing narrative that continues to evolve. As the evening in Washington gradually returned to its formal rhythm, the broader significance of what had occurred lingered beneath the surface. The continuity of the event itself became a quiet testament to resilience. Despite disruption, the structure held. Despite uncertainty, the system functioned. In the end, the story is not solely about a single night or a single incident. It is about the enduring effort to protect an institution that carries immense symbolic weight. From the era of Abraham Lincoln to the present day, the journey has been marked by loss, adaptation, and determination. Each chapter, including the one written in April 2026, adds to a larger narrative of vigilance. And as long as the presidency remains a central pillar of American democracy, the balance between openness and security will continue to define how it is protected, challenged, and ultimately preserved.